Almost constantly in motion, they move hundreds of millions of people every year. They can be your only friend on a stormy night, and driving one can be the adventure of a lifetime.
Hey, take it easy on the door.
Jeez. These brave icons of the cityscape find us in our hour of need and take us where we need to go. What more could you ask for? Taxi!
Well, if you look at it superficially, it seems simple enough. All you need is a vehicle that can carry passengers, a driver who knows the way, and some sort of system to determine the cost of the ride. But if you are so inclined, get out of the way! You could look a little deeper, and you could say that the taxicab is an instrument of change. From basic transportation to personal advancement to outright adventure. We're all going somewhere. We could all use a lift. But it'll cost you.
The earliest taxis had 4 wheels and could easily carry 4 adults. They were big, difficult to maneuver, and not very comfortable. Sound familiar? Now, to be fair, these were horse-drawn, but the business of hackney coaching, as it was known in the 1600s, was really the birth of the taxi trade. The larger vehicles ruled the roads in Europe until the French cabriolet arrived. Ooh la la. Besides introducing the word cab into our common vocabulary, these lighter, faster, 2-person carriages gave the original hackney coaches a run for their money. Oh yes, yes, yes! Then, in 1836, the brainchild of John Chapman and Joseph Hansom came on the scene. The Hansom safety cab was a hybrid of sorts, combining the hackney's protected passenger compartment and stability with the cabriolet's agility. They quickly became popular all over the world, and if you know where to look, you can still find the Hansom cab hard at work.
Welcome to New York. A friend of mine kind of got me into it. When I came over here, he said, do you want to drive a horse and carriage? And so you go down and take a test, veterinarian test and written tests, and then you have to go out for a few months and train with the driver and kind of get used to the horse. 1 horse, 1 driver. That's what we always say. No point having different horses each day. You don't get used to them. He's very good. Easy, very easy to drive. We cover 1 block in the straight and 1 mile in the park. The Centre Park it's like another world in there. And you go from all the hustle and bustle out here, and it's just dead calm, and you go in there, and it's just peaceful.
Much like the present-day yellow cab, during the 1800s, the Hansom ruled the streets of New York.
There was thousands of horse and carriages, and then by the 1930, they were brought down to 68, which is the number today. That's all there ever will be. The most interesting thing, I guess, I had a couple kind of get it on the back of my carriage. That's the most interesting thing I had. I brought a lot of celebrities for a ride as well, and they talk to you a lot and they give you good tips.
All this horse and buggy business is great, but we can't forget about the invention that gave the taxi its name. In 1891, German tinkerer and general busybody Wilhelm Brunn invented the taximeter. His clock-like device was attached to the outside of a cab and measured both the wheel rotations to calculate distance as well as the time a passenger spent in the cab. This information was the basis for the fare owed at the end of the trip. Now, initially, taxi drivers objected to the added expense of Wilhelm's device, but over time, the taximeter was adopted all over Europe and North America. It was those 2 words, taxi and cab, and their combined history that gave us the vehicle that we have come to know and love, the taxicab. What about the drivers, you ask? Well, I know I make it look easy, but I'll have you know, driving a cab is a lot harder than it looks. In London, England, it takes years to become a licensed taxicab driver.
To get a license in London, you have to do a thing called the knowledge. You have to do a test. You have to know every building, street, road, place of public interest, restaurant, bar, club, library, swimming pool, hotel, and a list of God knows what else within 6 miles of Charing Cross, which is a railway station dead in the centre of London. Whereas most North American cities are laid out on a grid, London is just a lot of little villages stuck together. And as such, there's no major roads, because nobody ever planned on having a route through it. And that's why London is like it is. And the way it's done, it's once again, like everything else in London, it's very old-fashioned. You've just got to ride them, you've got to learn the names of the streets, and you have to memorise them. There's no shortcut. And you drive down these roads, and as you drive down and you look at them, and you know, for example, this is Regent Street, this is Oxford Circus, behind them is Portland Place, Langham Place, and then you just learn the roads. And then what happens, when you think that your knowledge is sufficient, you go up and you test it at the Public Carriage Office, which is the licensing authority. I did it full-time, and I did it in just under 2 years.
Steve got the knowledge the hard way, on his own. But in the last few years, knowledge schools have popped up in London. Malcolm Linsky works at the Knowledge Point School and helps potential taxi drivers learn what they need to, well, know.
I did the knowledge really as a bet. A few guys who I was playing golf with were on the knowledge. When I told them it would be easy, any idiot could find their way around London, they suggested I tried. I took them on and got involved in the industry that way. Now, with the complicated one-way systems that we've got in place and no U-turn facilities, etc., it's becoming harder to deliver the knowledge. There are 320 prescribed routes. What they have to do is learn a quarter of a mile at the beginning and ending of each of those 320 routes. Then they have to be able to marry up any one of the routes with another route. We suggest that they go out and we give them about 50 to 60 journeys to go out and learn. They take them into every area for the first time on the map of London. So travelling from Centre Point to Brixton, what's the key road from Lambeth Bridge down to Brixton?
South Lambeth Road.
Well done, South Lambeth Road, OK? Camberwell to Hammersmith. Camberwell to Hammersmith. Think about it for a minute. The most important thing is what we call calling over, where you'll pair two people up and one person will test the other person on those journeys. You're aiming for almost a perfect straight line if you can possibly get it between any two given points. If they pass the map test, they then move on to a series of oral tests. That's one-to-one with an examiner, and they will give him an oral running of the journey. From start to finish, we're looking at about between 3 and 4 years to acquire a licence to drive a taxi in London. You will find that a London taxi driver will never get lost. You know, he will always be able to complete his journey. Research was undertaken into taxi drivers' brains, I think it was a couple of years ago, and it revealed that taxi drivers have a large hippocampus, which is a part of the brain which relates to direction and homing instincts. Cavemen had big hippocampuses so they could find their way home. I'm not quite certain if there's a link.
So, that's how you turn a civilian into an expert cab driver, but how do you turn a regular car into a slick, passenger-friendly cab? Stick around, I'll be right back.
With the rise of the combustion engine, horsepower was moved under the hood and taxis began to take on their more modern appearance. But the loyal and dependable cab is much, much more than a mere car.
Woohoo, doggy! Have I got a car for you? Check out this baby. Woo! You got yourself a Doppler 3000 suspension, nitrous infusion, and up here under the hood, a Z79 engine with plenty of pony. Oh, yeah! All right, you know what? I made that stuff up. I don't know squat about cars. But you can believe that this car has been modified and tricked out in ways that you wouldn't have imagined. And it's all done for you to guarantee that you get a safe and dependable ride. I guarantee it!
In North America, big old sedans are the vehicle of choice for the cab companies. And there is no model more popular than the Crown Victoria. Once the cars are purchased, either at auctions or right off the line, they get tailored to their new driving environment. Here in Toronto, Nick is supervising the conversion of this new cab for Diamond Taxi.
I started doing car audio as a hobby. Opened a shop in '91 north of the city. Then
My father ran a fleet of cabs. His idea was to open up a meter shop, and seeing that I knew car electronics already, it wasn't a big stretch to go into the meter business. Everything that we install in the car is really an add-on. There's not too much modification in the car. The only hard thing we're running into is limited space on all the wiring going in the car to keep it neat. There's a lot of equipment going in these cars. This car here has probably got the maximum. There's been a new bylaw passed in Toronto. They want a higher standard camera. It's 2 cameras in one case. This way, it's not giving a fishbowl effect. It's a very clear image. Activates every time you turn on the meter or open the door. This is the most basic of all equipment in a cab, is the taxi fare meter. Turn it on, counts the mileage or time, and you charge accordingly. We have the MDD terminal. Tells the cab driver where the fare is, stays on the screen. This is the POS terminal. Does Visa, Interac. A lot of companies are starting to go with corporate cards. Some stuff you can't see in the car. This GPS terminal, along with the security of the camera, has an emergency button on the GPS. The company can hone in where the car is. There's a button beside the driver which activates his emergency lights. And that's about it. This cab's ready for work.
With vehicles that slick, I can't wait to get me in one. Howard has kindly agreed to share his night shift and introduce me to the secret world of the taxicab driver.
Hey Howard, how you doing?
Jeff, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I hear you want to be a cab driver.
I do, man, I do.
Well, I hope you know what you're getting yourself into.
How long have you been doing this?
15 years.
Okay, so you're qualified.
Thank you.
Let's go, man.
Let's go.
Mitchie, I'm not a very good driver. Is that a
That's
problem?
all right. Yeah, you make a perfect cab driver.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
You're an owner-operator, yeah?
Yes, I am. I own this car. I lease the plate. I have no other drivers. And I come out about 7:30, so I get the morning rush hour, and then I work until after the evening rush hour. The disadvantages, of course, are that I'm responsible for all the expenses of the car. The gas, all drivers pay for gas regardless of the situation.
What are the hardest parts of the job? Like if you were to list the 3 hardest things.
Well, I think the hardest part is the safety factor and making a decision about picking up an individual. A lot of times you pick up people that look fine, and then they get in, shut the door, and their mouth opens, and you wouldn't believe what comes out.
Yeah.
So then you're into the survival mode.
Yeah.
What am I, I got to handle this guy, and I think that's one of the things you learn. When they go out the door, it's over. It's that one-time experience, and then it's on to the next fare and the next story.
You don't have the computer deal, but you got this.
That's right.
You got the old radio.
We have a
Come on back. Come on back.
That's CB. We don't like those CBs.
Oh, okay.
They'll say, who's on the W10 cab stand? I'll pick up the mic and say 259.
259er.
I could say that too.
I like
Sounds
niner.
a little fancier.
Okay, so what's this? Obviously, this is the money deal here, right?
Yeah. So hit that button, the meter
This
goes
one is
on.
higher.
Yeah.
This is like you get in now
Yeah.
and you tell me we're going to wherever we're going, right?
We're going downtown.
Okay,
we're going to Yonge and
down.
Dundas.
Yonge and Dundas.
So I hit the
and I go, okay, here.
And then the meter goes, and at the end of the trip, you hit the time off button.
Right, time off. Well, I'm not. I'm going to soak you for a little more.
Okay,
than that.
all right, yeah.
Okay, Howard. Like I've gotten the lessons. I know how to work the meter, and I know, like how to scout. What do you think? Am I ready?
I think you are. At first, just cruise for fares. Let's not worry about the radio now.
No.
Let's just go out and get some fares. This is the big time, Jeff. We're cruising, and there's a fare. Now listen, pull up beside him. No, you're fine. You're fine. Stop when the back door is by his hand.
Right. Now what?
Now greet him. Say hi. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Good. Did I go to college in Spadina?
Sure.
Yeah. Would you like to hear a song?
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound. That's about all I know. There you go, sir. That's $8.50.
Keep the change.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wicked, man. We're loaded. I feel like that's your... Hey, take it easy on the door. Jeez.
For your first one, I would, out of a 10,
Yeah.
I would maybe make it a 3.5. It really.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right
It's my car. Oh, my friend, it was really a lot of fun.
Thanks
Good luck
again,
to you, man.
You too. Take
Okay,
care.
we'll see you later. Bye-bye now.
All right, Howard. Take care, buddy. Woohoo! Howard! was fun. Oh man. Howard? Howard!
Driving a cab is clearly a delicate art, so too is attracting their attention. What you have to do may depend a little on where in the world you are. For example, on the streets of Cairo, it is customary to shout your destination at any passing taxi, but be prepared to share the ride with anyone or anything else traveling that way. Hello, goat. In El Salvador, instead of waving, you stand still and point at the road in front of you. If you wait long enough, a taxi will appear and pull up to your toes. Yeah! Here in Canada, we have a more dignified approach. We simply wave our arms and do pretty much anything we can to attract the attention of a vacant cab.
Taxi!
And $6.55 is your change. Thanks a lot. Yet again, no tip. I gotta tell you, making a buck as a taxi cab driver can be tough. I mean, sure, you get the freedom of being able to pick your own hours, but, sometimes you just can't help but feel that the system is, weighted against you. And the sad thing is, it's been like that for 200 years. Cheapskates! You take what satisfaction you can. Cheapskates!
Since the 1820s, owners have been able to rent out their cabs and licenses to willing drivers. It can be a fast way to make a buck, but it also places the driver at the mercy of a system designed to make other people rich. This makes driving a taxi a very difficult way of earning a living. One thing that can help a driver do well during a shift is effective communication. In the 1950s, cabbies began to use wireless technology. Telephone operators took messages and passed the information along to a dispatcher who would coordinate getting the closest car to the passenger. Imagine trying to keep track of where hundreds of moving cabs are in a big city at any one time.
Number 3, somebody want to do the one-on-one thing? Okay, who's the 6th guy?
7682 Queen's Park.
Thanks, you'll be number 6 in the area.
Okay, Roger, thank you.
Beck Taxi in Toronto is one of the few companies still using dispatchers.
We've looked at all the avenues to make our business better, and what we have found is our way with the voice dispatch is truly the best way. We have dispatchers that have been here for 30 years, 20 years. You couldn't do a dispatch job for 1 week if you didn't find a reward at the end of the day.
Good evening, Beck Taxi.
When a customer calls in, the address automatically comes up on the screen. And at that time, it is automatically allocated to a particular zone in Toronto. All the order taker has to do is just to enter it on the computer. It'll pass to the proper dispatcher in the proper area. And he just sends it on the two-way radio. There are certain skills that you should have. If you can picture the order, be it that intersection or that apartment building, it makes it easier for you to dispatch the order. And you give a certain kind of confidence to the drivers too when you know what they're going through.
521-2642, 704-568, and 3235.
You really appreciate words. You don't stop talking your whole shift. You'll see that they have headsets on. Well, they really have 3 headsets. That allows for the 2 radio frequencies and also a telephone. It becomes very, very frustrating to a dispatcher when he's looking on his computer screen and he knows he's got 75 other orders there. And just because he can't speak fast enough, those orders are getting old, even though he has taxi drivers available to drive them.
Number 449 Karloff, Winnie. I don't know if that's what they bought or that's what their name is.
Safety is a huge issue to us. It's a huge issue, and being able to speak over a two-way radio when a driver can ask for help. He has all his colleagues so close to him, and in our case, we have 1,000 cars. A driver in this company asks for help. It's nothing to have 40 cars there in less than a minute.
That is that! But just like the old dispatch system here, the taxi cab itself is undergoing a lot of changes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I tell you.
Yeah, can
this year is the 100th birthday of the motor taxi. Matter of fact, they got this big old program down in New York City to develop what the future of the cab's gonna be like.
Man, it's exciting times, you know? If they was to put me in charge of inventing the futuristic moto taxi, first thing I'd do is put a big old solar...
Hey, where'd you go?
Cabs of the future, that's exciting stuff. And in New York City, the Design Trust for Public Space is developing a program that will redefine both the taxi and its relationship with the city.
Taxi is the most recognizable and in some ways important icon that we have of the city. At any given time, something like 80% of the vehicles on the street are taxis. Taxis are our kind of shared car, because most New Yorkers don't have cars. We feel that taxis should be greener, they should be safer, they should be cooler, to be a real kind of positive reflection in the landscape about who we are. We brought together folks from the regulatory side, like the Taxi and Limousine Commission, fleet owners and drivers, and designers of every sort. The next phase, which we're calling Taxi 07, is a 3-part program culminating in new taxi prototypes or models that will be made by really large automakers and also New York City designers who are actually buying vehicles that they're going to make into new taxis.
So far, lots of great ideas have been put forward, from multi-sized vehicles to special cell phones that could send out a signal to attract cabs and aliens in the area. The designers at Burcell plus Sec have been focusing on the interior space of the vehicle.
I think anybody who's taken a cab in New York knows that it's not the best of experiences. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel safe for kids, for example, for babies. So how can we come up with an incorporated children's seat? I think one important change is concentrating on the driver. If we can improve the driver's experience, we have greater chances of improving the overall experience. The cab is the workplace for this person who is in the driver's seat for 12 hours at a stretch. And we feel that if we can better take care of this person, he will better take care of his passengers.
Wherever the next stage in the evolution of the cab goes, the story of the taxi is bound to continue as long as people need a ride and drivers are willing to venture behind the wheel. Remember this though, your life is a lot like a ride in a taxi. The meter's always running, even if you ain't getting anywhere. You talking to me?
Vive la cabriolet!